name's Helen, this is my channel, Helen Mary Jo. If you're new here then welcome, if you're returning thank you, and if you're a Hellsbell, hello. So as you can see I'm back in the kitchen and doing a little bit more Christmas prep. I am actually today making mincemeat, which I have never made before, and I saw there's a lady on, I'll put a link if I can find it, it's called Irish Mammy Cooks, and she does really great kind of simple basic home cooking. And I've never made mincemeat, as I said, and normally mincemeat has got suet in, and she just used butter, and that kind of appealed to me because I'm not that keen. I like mincemeat, but I'm not that keen on the suet, so I thought it would be nice to make my own. So in here, I will put all the ingredients in the description box. I've got 300, no, what have I got? 170, oh, do you know what? I've got a mixture of currants, raisins and sultanas, plus nutmeg, allspice and mixed spice and brown sugar. And as I say, I'll either list them on the screen now or I'll put them in the description box. But what I've got to add to this is orange juice, zest of oranges, 2 apples and some chopped almonds, which I don't think I've got, so I might have to leave those out, but you know, it doesn't matter. I mean, when you're making your own thing, like, who's going to say there's no nuts in this? I don't even recall seeing nuts in mincemeat. The shop ones probably don't have half as much good stuff as this does. So then you bake it in the oven on a really low oven. I think it's 100 degrees Celsius, and then you take it out halfway, give it a stir, and then you let it cool down. So I will just gather the rest of the ingredients. I've got my oranges here, lemon. I'll just gather all of those together and then I will come back, and really all you're doing is putting it together. Then the other thing I'm going to make today is cranberry sauce. So it's quite hard to see all the brown ingredients in there, but they are in there. And then I've got to add 100 grams of mixed peel, and this is basically half a tub, so I'm just going to pop that in as well. There's 200 grams in the tub, so I'm sure that'd be about right. And then we've got to add the zest of an orange. You know, I've had this micro blade grater for a long time, and I've bought other ones and they've never been as good as this original one. It's just the job. Oh, what a lovely smell of oranges. This will make the house smell Christmassy, won't it? I remember once a friend of mine, she made a lemon pudding and she accidentally had added the pith to the pudding. So that's the zest of the orange. Now, the lemon I've got isn't particularly great, but, well, it's embarrassing actually, but I'll just pop a bit of that in for good measure. It's proper wizened up old lemon. I'm sure you know that trick about popping it into the microwave for 30 seconds. Just pierce it and pop it in the microwave and that will get it juicier. And then we need to grate a bramley apple. So these apples are still the ones off Katie's tree in the garden, and they last so long in the fridge. I mean, I've used them in various puddings and things, but there's still quite a few left. So need to do some more baking. Trying to find the time with everything. It's true, isn't it? The older you get, the faster the time goes. It's quite scary. So I'm going to leave the skin on. I'm going to do it down here rather than fire everywhere. So that's 1 grated bramley apple. This grater is 50 years old. Oh goodness me, can't believe I'm that old. Give that a stir in. I haven't got a lot of room, but it'll kind of cook down as it heats up, won't it? Still got to add the orange juice and the lemon juice in. This is also 50 years old, and the girls were arguing about which one of them will get it when I no longer need it, or when I'm not here, I suppose. I was like, give me a chance, it's my favourite. This is Tupperware. They were fabulous, weren't they, back in the day? Still got loads of Tupperware that I've had all those years. Brilliant stuff. And then you add the alcohol into this after it's cooked down. So just add the lemon juice in. And that'll stir again more easily once it's heated up. Well, there's Billy coming in. He got the wrong bus, so Robert's had to go and get him. See how juicy that is now? Because I heated it up. Yeah, so then we just need 125 grams of butter. So I'll just give this a good stir. Looks like mincemeat already. Then I'll just get the butter. I'll buy my butter in Costco. Now this is probably about 175 grams. Let's see. Or is it 125 I need? 125, that's 194. Then is you just kind of slice this over the top of the mixture. I'm just going to pop that down so it's level. And then cook it on low. I think it's 3 hours in total. It's a long time. But obviously the butter melts into it. You add the brandy or rum, whatever you prefer. I'm using brandy. And then you should give it a good stir, let it cool down, and then you just jar it up. I've sharpened all my knives, so they're a bit lethal at the moment. Billy, can you let Dolly out, please? Right, so then you just pop it into the oven on 100 degrees centigrade, so it's really, really low oven. Take it out halfway to stir it and then put it in for another hour. So once that gets to the stirring point, I'll show it to you again, and then I will show it to you, a bit wonky, show it to you when I add the brandy and when I jar it up. So it's so simple. I mean, a lot of these recipes are literally just combining ingredients. That's all they are. So I'll wash up, clear the decks, and then get ready for the cranberry sauce. really quickly, I'm just going to put this cranberry sauce together. It could not be easier. 250 grams of fresh cranberries, 100 grams of soft brown sugar, 100 ml of freshly squeezed orange juice, and then you just basically put it all together. So I'm going to move the camera down. You can see the pan. Put the sugar in there with the orange juice. And get that all melted. It's pretty hot, as you can hear. Turn it down a bit. Just wait for that sugar to kind of lose its grittiness. You can feel it with the end of the spoon, it just still feels gritty. Once that sugar has melted, you just put the cranberries in and then let them cook. I mean, honestly, this couldn't be easier. There's absolutely no need to buy this at the shops. You can add some port to it if you want to. I tend not to because the children don't like the flavour then. And just, that's all dissolved now. Pop the cranberries in. You can use frozen cranberries, but they will take a bit longer. And to me, this, nothing could look more Christmassy, could it, than that? The red of those berries is incredible. So that won't take too long. I'm just going to turn the temperature up again. And those will start to come down. Just going to move that over and get the mincemeat out of the oven. And give that a stir. You can see all that butter has melted in. You hear those cranberries popping. Hope they don't pop out and burn me. That smells amazing. So I'm just going to put that back in the oven for another hour, and then I'll turn that down actually because I think the fan oven is hotter. You can see how quickly those are splitting and cooking. And then if you make, if you make this, you can store this in the fridge for probably a week or more without a problem in a sealed airtight jar, you know, clean, sterilised. If you washed it in the dishwasher, that's all you need to do. You don't need to do any other sterilising other than that. But if you are hand washing it, then you could fill it half full with water and put it in the microwave until the water bubbles up and is boiling in the jar, and that sterilises it. Or, as I say, you can just do the jars in the dishwasher, and that's good enough. But because I'm making this well ahead of Christmas, I'm going to freeze this. It won't make tons, but it's enough, you know. I always overdo everything at Christmas, and it's wasteful. So this is enough for, you know, when you think of the little jars you get, they're only kind of this big, aren't they? So this will be more than enough. So once those have all softened down, they'll be ready to freeze, and I'll just freeze them in a plastic bag, you know, with the flat freezing method. So wait till it cools, put it in the bag, make sure it's airtight, and then just make sure it's flat, and it doesn't take up much room in the freezer that way. and room is at a premium at this time of year. I haven't got long to try and get my freezer run down. Honestly, don't know where the time is going. So I will stop the camera there because, I mean, you know, you can all see what's happening. A lot of them are broken down, a lot of them are still whole, but I'll let those cook down, and then the mincemeat will probably be done at a similar time, and I'll add the brandy to that, and then that'll be ready to put into jars. I've got to find some jars now, not sure if I've got any, but you know what I end up doing, I think, oh, that pickle jar, that pickle's nearly empty, and throw it away and clean it up. So righty-ho, I'll stop the camera there and come back to it. So that's the cranberry sauce ready to be decanted. I've got my bag here. Now, I don't trust these bags terribly well. They've let me down before. Not the bag, but the this thing. Hang on, let me get myself organised before I make a complete mess of that. I mean, this isn't heavy, but when I've tried to do it with gravy, the whole thing collapsed. It was a nightmare. As I said, it's not loads, but it's enough. So what I was meaning about the freezing flat is that you basically lay this down. It's a good way to freeze anything, you know, that's liquidy, because it just takes up no room and also it defrosts really quickly. So that's that. So that will go in the freezer, and that can just lay in there quite nicely. And then we are just getting to the that's good. So that's just all combined and come together nicely. I mean, at the end of the day, this is going to be used in mince pies, or, you know, mincemeat cake or whatever, so it's not, you know, it's not going to be eaten straight out of the jar like that. And then it's 2 tablespoons of brandy added into this, just to give it that little boozy element. Just stir that through. I'll let that cool to a certain extent. I found some kilner jars, so I think I've got enough clean jars to put that in, and I'll do that later when it's all cooled down a little bit. So that's cooled down enough for me to put it into these jars. One thing about doing it this way is if there's an ingredient that you don't like, you don't have to add it. And equally, you know that everything in there is good stuff. You know, there's no cheap fillers or anything put in. If you're going to go to the trouble of making mince pies, then you want to know that it's nice mincemeat, don't you? It's so surprising, isn't it? I wasn't sure that this would... I'd have enough of these 3 jars. I think I've probably got enough. Just in 2 jars. Obviously you can double this recipe up if you want to make more, but that's enough for me. So there we have it. 2 jars of mincemeat ready to be put away in store. Quite pleased with those, to be honest. Never done that before, never made mincemeat before, but as I say, you're just combining ingredients. And as my mother always says, if you start with good ingredients, you can't go wrong. So I'm really late in the day doing this one because a friend of mine put a post up on Facebook saying, could anybody shorten a dress for her? And it was just fell completely silent. And so I messaged her and said, did you have anyone to take your dress up? And she said no. So I did it, and then I found out it was a full length sequin number. Anyway, I've done it, that's done. So I'm just adding this into this video. This is my bread sauce recipe. Now, I thought everybody had bread sauce with their Christmas dinner, lunch, but not everybody does. And I found that out when, you know, the kids brought friends home and stuff, and they were like, what's that? Well, we love bread sauce in this house. And it's just so easy to make, and really you don't need video. But I'm just going to add this on to the 2 that I can't even remember what I prepared. So I'm just going to group these together. And I'm wearing my Petite Studio New York cardigan, which I absolutely love. It's so cozy and comfortable. And just got my little camisole underneath, and of course my usual little necklace. So I have had, I mean, it's so easy, as I say. So I've had this milk steeping here with, I don't know if you can see, I don't want to spill it, an onion, some bay leaves and some peppercorns. And my husband has done it again. I got out the nutmeg that I needed to grate into this. I left it out here so that I didn't forget, and he has put it away. So I now need to go and get that back out of the cupboard, so bear with. So you can use cloves, you can stud the onion with cloves, or I'm just going to use some grated nutmeg. Slightly less kind of fragrance flavour, I think. I'm not very keen on cloves at all, so I'm just going to add some grated nutmeg in. I will move the camera down, so gosh, that is so, it's incredible. I mean, imagine how old that is. You don't have to imagine. I mean, I wonder if there's a date on here. It's just so old. No, it's so old. I think it was before they put dates on. But anyway, it does the job. I can smell it. I mean, I was watching an Indian lady the other day on TV, and she said, actually, you can carry on using dried herbs for ages. You just need more if they're old. So I'm just going to put the camera down. I mean, it's not an awful lot to see, but just so you can see what I'm doing. So there, I've got the bag ready. It's going to go in the freezer. There's the milk. I brought that to the just below the boil and then left it steeping actually for the best part of the day. I'm taking my life in my hands doing this on camera. So just sieve those out, and then I'm just going to add the breadcrumbs. And really that is it. I mean, you just have to let the breadcrumbs absorb the milk, and then on the day I would just warm that up and add a couple of tablespoons of cream and taste it. Might need a bit of pepper. I've got white pepper in there actually, as well as the black peppercorns that I sieved out. And then just warm it up on the day, as I say, add some cream to it. Let those breadcrumbs soak up the flavoured milk. It is important to get those flavours in, because otherwise it would just taste of nothing. So I will just let that absorb, and then it will just become a very thick sauce. And then I'll pop it into one of these bags. I'm just going to put a little bit more in there, because I can always loosen it up with more milk on the day, or cream, as I say. But as I've got those breadcrumbs there, I might as well use them. I've just been actually, when I've just had a couple of, you know, baguette or whatever just left, I have just shoved it in the processor and made crumbs and kept those in the freezer. So that's it. It's very, very simple. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but in this house we like it, and it wouldn't be Christmas dinner without it for us. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you really soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.